everyone, Francis Plant here. Welcome back to another episode of On the Couch with France. And this week, we've got none other than HOKUM. I'll let the band introduce themselves, and off you go.
Awesome sauce, thank you.
Hello, I'm Conrad. I'm the guitarist and a member of HOKUM.
All right. And also, a fellow songwriter, contributor, don't forget that. I'm Scott. I am the vocalist, guitarist of the band.
Hello, my name is Rory and I'm the drummer of the band.
Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us today, and say hello to the fans out there. Wave!
Oh, well, thanks for having us. Genuinely, thank you for having us. It's been far too long since we've done something like this, and I could not think of a better person to do it with.
Oh wow, thank you.
Man.
The
Thank
flattery.
You.
Guys, first and foremost, right, HOKUM is not just HOKUM. And when I was much younger, there was a band out already called Marlow.
Yeah.
Before we talk about HOKUM, catch our listeners and viewers up with a little bit of the history of Marlow and HOKUM.
Yeah, well, we started back 2002, around there, 2003 as Marlow, and we were just a three-piece. We were this original three-piece, and we just wanted to do something different. We were influenced by a lot of progressive rock and a lot of alternative rock and things like that. And we didn't have a bass player at the time. We didn't know any people who were playing bass at that time that kind of fit the mold. So we just started playing two guitars and a drummer. And that seemed to be kind of unique at the time. I mean, obviously, Around the Corner, White Stripes, etc. And there was just a duo and John Spencer Blues Explosion and guys like that. Well, we're doing stuff like that already, like a bit before. But no one in the country was really doing stuff like that. So we got the attention of some people in the record industry, and we signed an independent deal, and then we released a song called Baby's Breath, and that seemed to pick up quite a bit of steam, and we got quite a bit of attention from it. And then life happens, and Rory left the band for a period, and that's when we changed our name to HOKUM. So that's pretty much the deal behind Marlow, kind of in a very, very quick kind of nutshell.
Perfect, that's perfect, man. Thank you so very much for that.
Of course.
Moving on to HOKUM. Now, Rory, were you there at the beginning? No, you weren't. You weren't at the beginning of HOKUM.
No. So, HOKUM was a brand new band. The whole concept was completely new, and I think these guys can kind of expand on that, you know?
Oh, of course.
But, I paid them a shitload to get back in.
In various ways.
Yeah.
Rory, what did you do in your break from Marlow / HOKUM?
Yeah, no, that's a very, very good question, actually. I don't recall much.
Stuff.
Yes, it was a hazy. How long was it? It was quite a few years, actually.
Over
10 plus years.
Yeah.
Wow.
10 plus years.
Yeah, I did. I went away from music in a big way, but I think I found I'm at a place now where I'm in it as much as I've ever been, and I think I'm the most excited I've been about it ever, you know, and just the potential for me, it's unbelievable. It's rhythmically speaking. You know?
Right, yeah. And like a gigging cycle for you guys pre-COVID, how active were you guys? Tell us about a few of the venues that you played, your favorite venues.
Oh, well, I mean, Rumors Rock City in Randburg was, in the more modern era of HOKUM, was a really special place to play at. The attention to detail of the stage, the people that went there, the organizers, the owners, and that was a really special place to play. But I mean, we come from back in Marlow, we came from a culture where there were lots of places to play. Now Crocodile and Zeppelins and Roxy's and
years back, man.
Years back, when we were first starting out, we were in high school, just kind of, trying to get open nights at Roxy Rhythm Bar. And I think recently, the Bush Lounge, Wilma Bush Lounge in Pretoria, that was a very special place for us to play at as well. I think there's a place we definitely want to play at. We were speaking about it. It's Sonnage, eh?
Sonnage. I don't know how to.
Sonnage,
so many people pronounce it differently.
Sonnage. I think
Sonnage. I say Sonnage.
It just sounds sexy. And the place looks really nice, and the people there also seem to have the right kind of attitude that's aligned with, I suppose, a creative sense, you know.
Yeah.
Those are the places that we used to play and the places we want to. But we also want to get into an idea of creating new spaces to play in that aren't necessarily your traditional either nightclubs or venues.
Yeah.
We really want to try this year to once we get back into the cycle of playing, we want to try get that unique experience back where going to a show was the experience of the whole atmosphere, not just the music. Everything adds to the experience. We really want to bring that show aspect back. And yeah, we feel that we've got some good ideas in that respect.
Okay, how long has it been since you guys played a show?
It's a year now. Eh? Yeah, we played nothing in 2021, sadly.
Yeah, it was a tough year. It was a tough year, and some bands did get out there and play a few gigs here and there.
Yeah.
Even some did it very illegally at undisclosed venues.
Yeah.
But it was great fun.
Need was real. Absolutely.
Now you spoke of other bands earlier, like for instance White Stripes, and what is a big influence for the band as a whole, and perhaps we can move the mic around for the individuals in your own personal preferences to music and what drives you to play prog rock.
Yeah, totally. Well, yeah. So the reluctant guitarist. No, I'll start with pleasure. I think when all bands begin, you have your obvious influences. White Stripes was not an influence. Neither was the John Spencer Blues Explosion or any of the other bands that I've mentioned so far. The bands that we were influenced by were Tool, the Deftones, Muse, Radiohead, Smashing Pumpkins, a lot of alternative grunge stuff, Nirvana, Bush even. Really a lot of alternative rock crept into our sound, but there was always that need to have what we just call that power, that absolute huge swell of sound that was undeniable.
Yeah.
That seemed to pull us very much sonically. We wanted to do something like that. And more recently, I suppose, for me as an influence, I haven't actively gone out listening for new music because I tend to, obviously with influences, I think those influences have stopped playing a role significantly, and we have our own sound now, where all of those bands seem to conglomerate into one entity, which is HOKUM, right?
Right.
So I started looking, personally, more at 20th century classical music. Guys that were very heavily interested in rhythm, like Steve Reich and John Adams and John Cage, all of these really experimental musicians. And then I discovered more avant-garde traditional classical music. Franz Liszt is my favorite composer.
Okay.
He created a piece that just absolutely changed the way I looked at melody, changed the way I looked at construction. And so that bled into looking at a lot of jazz, looking at a lot of different genre music, traditional African music crept in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I think, going to be the most exciting part of our musical journey coming up.
Okay.
We've got a very exciting mend happening at the moment that we're just really, really happy with. That has nothing to do with any genre that's associated with our music.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Yes.
that's me personally.
Let's hear what Rory has to say about
Yes,
these
what
musical
Rahman's-
influences.
Yeah.
Rory! So?
So. Yeah, I think at the moment, the main listening for me would be if I want to learn something, on the drums or a technique. So listening to 7 Days at the moment, by Sting, that track, and just loving Vinny Colaiuta on that track. Mind-blowing rhythm.
That's from the 2021 album.
Jeez, I don't even know when that album was released.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, 7 Days.
No, 7 Days,
Old.
it's quite an old
Yeah,
track.
quite old. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a classic track, but
Yeah.
Vinny Colaiuta,
Yeah, just so for me, I'm enjoying that aspect, and taking that to the drum kit and trying to learn from that, And then Tool, as Scotty mentioned, I've always loved them. Rhythmically, for me, they're just so inspiring. And Danny Carey is just he's a top legend.
Absolutely, yeah.
But for me, and then listening, I think I'm preferring music without vocals at the moment. Just it's more free to interpret, I think,
Okay.
And a lot of jazz, generally, all kinds of jazz, even chill jazz. that sort of thing.
I'm loving
Fantastic,
it.
man.
Yeah.
Thank for that.
So
So,
No, I think you answered it all. I agree with these guys.
yeah.
I don't know if you know.
Oh, personal influences, yeah.
Yeah, but there was the old influences like Kurt Cobain and why we joined the band. But then
Yeah, I mean,
Exactly, yeah.
rightfully so. You guys
But
are
now
from
it's
the
not-
90s.
Yeah.
And
we've been
obviously
writing together
grunge,
for
in fact-
over 20 years now.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'd say an influence would be what he thinks of what I'm writing at the moment, because then it's how he would take it. Because we very much linked in a writing kind of way.
Absolutely.
And you definitely got like some of the ideas that you coming up with in the videos are superbly unique. Yeah, wow.
And that was lacking in the beginning, because then I was just the guitarist and they were the talent. I just used to jump around and stuff, so I worked hard at trying to give more to the band and writing. And then you get into like what's the word?
And it's a
Like
it's a
zone
complete
of
zone.
writing, and you're not
Yeah.
writing in an actual style. You just start writing what's actually coming out of you, and then it's just ideas. But then I'll give it to Scotty, then he'll feel something, and then I see it become a song, because he's got that kind of talent of pulling the right stuff out of ideas.
Yeah, I mean, just to reiterate that, yeah, I think the organic process of writing music, we were so in sync. I mean, all three of us, in terms of writing the music and the lyrics, etc., we're so in sync at the moment that I don't think we've actively tried to write a song
Yeah.
in 10 years, 15
Okay.
years. Yeah.
It
so
just
all of
comes.
all of the material, all of the riffs, Tonight Is Your Night, The Caress, the singles that we've released off our upcoming album, which we'll talk
Yes,
about.
we'll talk about that
Which
in a
we'll-
moment.
we'll-
Oh my God.
We'll get there. And we have released an album before that, and the same thing there, The Money Eaters, which was our debut album. No track on there, in particular the title track, was a complete experiment in just trying to see if we could find a consistent riff that morphed in sound rather than chord progression. It came about completely just originally, just there and then. And as it happened, it was in Jay's studio.
Yeah.
And as it happened, we said, hit the record, we've got to record this. And that became the whole basis and vibe for the entire process of writing that album.
Yeah.
And Earworm came soon after that. And that, I think, truly cemented what we were going for as a band.
Yeah.
Earworm seemed to encapsulate everything that well, I don't know, I'm speaking for myself, I suppose, but it seemed to encapsulate everything that we've been striving for 20 years to achieve. It seemed that song in particular and the Emerald seemed to really bring cohesion to that idea, and it made us very, very excited.
Yeah.
We became very excited.
Not just
and-
you, everyone.
Well, yeah, well, hopefully. I mean, I can't speak to that, and thank you for saying so. Yeah, that's it.
Fantastic, man. So, in the background on the television,
Mm-hmm.
we got some HOKUM music videos playing.
Yes.
Very creative, high standard, high quality.
Thank you.
Tell us more about who does your videos. Is it like some other bands that's been on the couch that do it all in-house, using rakes as camera stands, etc.? How do you guys have a production company that helps you out? Tell us a bit more about that, because what's behind us is really, what's behind us at the moment.
This
Yeah.
is Kiss the Weapon.
Yeah. So I mean,
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
tell us
So-
more about that.
Yeah, of course. Well, we can just quickly discuss Kiss the Weapon. Just a little bit more than a simple lyric video, which was done by a friend of mine, Laura Wright, and she's just a graphic designer, and she's been in the industry for ages, and she loved the song, and just sent me an email one day and said, "Look, I've been working on a video for Kiss the Weapon for the song, and is it okay if I do something for you?" And we were absolutely blown away. Just not even by the final product, but just by her willingness and readiness to just passionately do it. Not for any, there was no lead up to it at all. It was a total surprise. So a big thank you to her, to Laura. Really.
Is she from a company that now does that kind of thing? Or is it just graphic design that she does?
She's a freelance. So she starts. I think she started her own company quite a while ago. I mean, she's worked for other companies, but this was just complete passion project that she decided she wanted to do. That she, I mean, obviously she could put it on her show reel, and we were just blown away, you know, absolutely. But it's the only video that somebody else has done.
Yeah.
We've done, as you say, most of the bands are doing it in-house these days.
We full on in-house, everything.
Full us. We record everything ourselves. We have a producer in Canada, Dylan Ellis.
He's like
all these people getting mentioned, right?
Yes, yeah.
The band will send me the links and we'll put it in the description below. Yeah,
Absolutely.
everyone.
You can go and check out
Even Red Bull.
work. Yeah, check out their work and check out Dylan's work. He's worked with a lot of great bands, and he's working with a lot of cool bands at the moment as well. God is one of them from Cape Town. He's working with them on their new album, I think. But the videos, we've always had the concepts ourselves. So, and the Emerald. The Emerald is another video that has an interesting story.
Do tell.
Yeah, we got an opportunity to shoot in the Barnyard Theatre in Costa. And
Shame, that's closed now. It's been closed for a while now.
It is closed, yeah. And we had the opportunity to shoot a video there with a crane-operated camera and a full-on stage. And it was supposed to be for a pilot for a new show that they were trying to float.
Okay.
But our payment was the video of really good quality HD, all the rest of it. So we said, okay, we'll do it. And that song ended up really breaking through like a lot of barriers in the beginning of our kind of formation as HOKUM. It got a couple thousand views very quickly. And in this country, it's not massive in any country, but it's in our kind of estimation, it was more than we'd had.
Yeah.
And so that was significant. And then it ended up being played on 5FM, which is, obviously a local station here. On the drive show on DJ Fresh, he was the main drive DJ at that time.
Fresh played
and
your music.
He played the
Emerald
at 4:30 in the afternoon on peak drive time traffic, and we heard it in the car, and it just blew our minds. And it got a mostly positive response. It got, I think, a 66% hot vote.
Wow.
Which is unbelievable.
That is, it's almost unprecedented for a
song.
We were expecting it absolutely to tank with the audience that were listening to it, but they didn't. They absolutely jumped on board. For us, the 66% at the most mainstream time in this country was unbelievable.
Yeah.
So that really made us excited. So, but anyway, the Emerald was that's how that video came about. But I would say the Caress.
No,
That was us. We did everything.
Tonight Is United and Caress
Yes.
are two, like complete
And
in-house, and that's the
this
whole new
gentleman-
album as well.
This gentleman and this gentleman with the photographic skills and the computer generated beauty skills, they make what ideas we have work, because they've worked with these tools for a long time in a passionate capacity as well. So we're able to do all of that stuff in-house.
And they are just tools.
Absolutely, we can use them with great
Tools for the
efficiency.
music.
Yeah.
That's fantastic, man. And obviously, being in South Africa, and it's a tough market here, especially in the alternative scene of things. It saves you a lot of money, also. I don't like touching on money kind of things, but it's the reality. I mean, if you had to outsource Caress, for instance, to a production company, I mean that would have cost you quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
And now you've got these avenues within the house
Correct.
to just sort that out yourselves and get yourself to invest on other things for the band.
That we can prioritize. Yeah, exactly. So we are able to go and play shows, and we are able to cover the costs of actually recording the material. And I think the whole point about doing things in-house or having that capacity, I think somebody left a comment on the Caress, or it was Tonight Is Your Night. They said and they listed a ridiculous figure in their estimation of what that would have cost.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they I think it was on one of the YouTube. I think it was a YouTube comment. A guy, I think he was from the States or something,
I
said.
think Kanye was trying to sell the video.
But he said he listed a ludicrous price, and he said that's kind of what you're looking at if you had to hire people to do that.
I mean,
so.
when there was a band Therapist down in Port Elizabeth,
Yeah.
right? And when I did, was 2020, God. I did a France the Planet's Metal Madness week where I played just South African metal.
Awesome.
I think you guys were in it also with Tonight Is Your Night, funny
We were,
enough, yes.
That's right.
And it was all listener voted, so I had no say in the matter. But coming back to Therapist, is that I wanted to create a music video for them, or at very least a lyric video.
Yeah.
And knowing some people in the industry, I got quotes and I could not believe the amount I had to pay, or would have paid, because it never materialized. Unfortunately, band disbanded. But just for a lyric video, in excess of 2,000 rand. You know, which for us in South Africa is still quite a bit of money just for something that's on the TV over there and some lyrics scrolling on the screen. So, caress, man, wow. I can imagine the figures that it would have accumulated.
Just
for
with the
that video.
just with the cameras used, and as you said, the tools used, that alone.
And the editing time as well, because we only edited it together, so we would all get together, then edit and go through everything all together. So it made it a great project.
Yeah.
It's definitely time consuming to
passionate.
get that kind of quality.
Exactly, passionate project, but
Yeah.
a lot of hours. A lot of hours.
A lot of hours.
He puts in a lot of hours.
I love it. Everyone in the band puts in a lot of hours.
A lot of
Hard
hours.
work.
It
You
takes
have
a
to
lot
clock
of
hours,
hours.
eh?
You have
You've got to
to.
clock in and clock out.
Wait a minute.
Otherwise, you don't get your fast food at the end of the game. But you got to do one your fast
Yeah,
food.
you
don't
need your
you?
fast foods.
Tell me, do you run HOKUM as a business? Is it a brand yet?
Yes, it is a brand.
It's totally a brand. I mean, we have a logo. We have definitely an intense feel about the music. It seems to be consistent now. Exactly.
It's very serious.
So it's very 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 serious. We don't take it like it's not a hobby.
No.
It's very much I cannot help it. Have to do it.
And we're lucky enough to find like-minded people.
Yes.
Exactly, that
Yeah.
can do
who
it.
can do it.
And we're all in a position where we can pursue it greatly. It's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
100%. And
We're making the choice to do it with time and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, you know it's important.
yeah, absolutely. So it's definitely not a business.
Okay.
No, definitely not a business. But we understand that certain elements need to be run that way.
Yeah.
So you need to think of those elements as such, and as a result, obviously we want to work more with people like Mongrel Records, who
Link
we
in the
partner
description below.
with. Link in the description below. And then-
Smash that subscribe and bell thing, share, all those things.
Absolutely, yeah. Mongrel Records, they've got a lot of great videos, a lot of good music, and they're doing a lot in terms of, I suppose, getting new music out there, getting new artists out there. It's almost like we have to start learning to walk again. And that's in every respect. It's creatively, it's networking, it's all of that stuff seems to be fresh again or new. Like we've got some kind of different opportunity. So that's exciting to try and get another opportunity to keep a high standard, to raise the standard, and just be as creative as possible. That's pretty much it.
That's great, man. I love it. And the fact that it stays passionate and rightfully not run as a business per se, I think it brings so much more, shall I say, special feelings to the especially emotions, not feelings, emotions.
Yeah,
feeling is what we do with each other. After this.
But you're right. Every song that we've written for a long time, as I mentioned, is completely organic, right? And organic. I mean, what did I mean that word? There's no trying to write a song.
Yeah.
And we're just very lucky that at the moment, and for a long time, the riffs and the songs that we've come up with have excited us, and they've kept us excited. Like really excited to the point where I can't sleep for certain amounts of time. While I have these ideas, waking up at certain times in the morning, and then that's when the melody will hit, or that's when the lyric will hit, and it seems my body seems to know. Doesn't matter what time of the day, if it's gonna come, it's coming. So 2, 3 in the morning, absolute inspiration will hit, and then I'll pass out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that happens a lot, and it's happened a lot probably for the last 5 years, I'd say. We've clicked into almost another level of sync, and that's made us probably the most excited we've ever been, I'd say, about music, and about creating it is probably the main thing. Creating that songs.
song.
We always speak about the difference between genre and song. And we've always been songwriters that just happen to play music that people define as progressive rock or as metal, but we're not a metal band.
Yeah.
We're a rock band at its very, very base that draws a lot of inspiration on the more interesting progressive side of things. But we're not about, okay guys, we have to write a song and it has to be in 5/4 time.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's not a HOKUM.
Yeah.
Not at all. That went out the window. I don't even think that's ever been, it's never been the case.
But it was definitely possibly more forced, exactly, and that's a huge change.
Correct. Even without you knowing it, if you're a mathcore band or if you have a certain sound, you feel like you have to create in that genre. And we kind of thought about it a lot and looked at the greatest bands of all time that we loved, should I say, seem to defy genre. And their songs are what people remember the most, more than the style of music they play.
Right, yeah.
That's what we've always tried to focus on and champion among other artists as well. Songwriting, that thing that is timeless. That's what we try to achieve.
Man, these answers are fantastic, and it's not even answers. It's really I can see and I can feel how it flows because it's within you. It's that passion, you know.
No, totally. Yeah.
So
A conversation.
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
it is. It's a conversation.
Yeah, that's fantastic. All right, moving on to Rory. So, your favorite drum timing, your timing signature. What do you like to play most? Being in a progressive rock band, and we know how prog rock or prog music in general has some obscure time signatures.
Yeah,
What do you enjoy most?
It's so funny. It's like I think you ask your drummer that. It's like a real geek question. You know? I get so excited.
Yeah, I just heard mathcore coming from you, and it's like, wait, this is a perfect question.
Yeah, but I think for me the main thing with feel, like for 7 days, what old Vinny he's doing on that track, like he's playing an accent on the first of a group of 4 notes, but meanwhile it's in a 5/4 or 5/8 feel. So it's the audience is feeling that common time, that 4/4 time, and they're feeling what they're used to. But meanwhile, the whole song is in the 5/4 time. So that sort of thing intrigues me, you know. But at the moment, I'm loving sixes, like just counting in triplets a bit differently. So instead of counting in 3, I'd rather count in 6. And I was trying to explain to the guys the other day. I was quite excited just how it kind of changes the whole feel of the notes that you're playing and where you're putting the accents, the way I count it. And then I won't religiously count it when I play it, you know, live or whatever, but it's just a practice device so you get used to it, you know, that's the idea. So I'd say 6/4 and 6/8.
6/4.
But I think everything's got its feel. Like Conrad will come up with an idea, and Scotty, and they often won't have written that with the time signature in mind, you know. I'll sit there and go, geez, like what is this time signature, you know? And then I'll tap and I'll go, no, it's actually 4/4. I'm like, okay, cool. So that's pretty much me in a nutshell, eh? Yeah.
Oh, cool. What? No. So it's still time
Excellent.
for Rory. Tell us more about your kit. What do you play on? Big Fur, Tama, Pace, Zildjian.
We're modernizing.
Yeah, so
We are modernizing.
yeah, so recently, it's kind of been a dream of mine for ages, but recently acquired an electronic kit,
Okay.
Roland, kind of based on a TD30 module, and using that through software, drum sampling software, and that's just blowing my mind. You know, I'm actually having the ability to craft your own kit. Each individual drum, you can choose that sample, and what also blows my mind is the sensitivity, you know, on the kit, because you're playing, it's almost, you're playing like a fully mic'd up, super produced kit, you know.
Right. Okay.
That's reality, and that's rehearsal. That's when you practice.
Yeah, it's
You
not
don't
it's
have
not
to
our
take it
cheaper
on the
5,000
road.
rand
No.
from a second-hand store. This is like pressure sensitive. When you whack it, you can feel the projection from the sound coming through.
That's it. Yeah. And I mean, for us, it's just been. I'm at the moment going through the recording for the album, but it's going to speed up the process for us, which is mind-blowing, you know. Yeah. Increase the profits for our business. Yeah.
The album's coming 2022, eh?
Yeah.
Lying to the public.
Pass that microphone
That's
to
coming,
Conrad.
that's coming.
Thanks so much for that, Rory. Pass the mic on over to Conrad.
Yes.
Mr. Blue Eyes himself, the other Blue Eye boy.
Mhm.
All right, you've got blue eyes too. Now I see under the
hazy.
shade of your cap.
Yes.
Yeah, and I can see. Okay.
Bit of a clever. Let's look.
It's your,
Brownie green.
Who's
Ha-
blue? Hazel, they call them hazel.
Swamp hazel.
Yeah. Swamp hazel.
Swamp
yes.
hazel.
No,
Oh, okay.
just hazel. Rory's talking God.
He's talking swamp.
It's hazel eyes, yeah. Hazel colored eyes.
How's about your guitar equipment, amps, those kind of things? What do you use in studio?
I've been using a Fender Tele Blacktop as my main guitar for many years now.
Yeah.
Through Line 6 amp and very, very basic. With Marlo I had so many freaking buttons and, you know, cables and just slowly simplified. And yeah, now just...
So you're not like Edge with this whole room
No.
full of just processors
Not at
and
all.
amps and
I've got
crazy.
3 different types of distortion, and then that's all I use in all the songs now. So I used to use so many effects and stuff, and that was just, again, playing around, learning how to play, how to write, all that stuff. And then you just get better, and you just realize that you don't need all that other stuff if you're writing good stuff.
Yeah,
Good music.
Yeah,
good songs.
exactly. No, fantastic. Thanks for sharing that. Now, the guys have been talking about this new album due out 2022, Rory. Scotty,
Yes.
update us from Tonight Is Your Night, Caress going forward. What's happening with this album?
Okay, yeah. So the album's going to be called Human Sex Equation, and we've released 2 singles from it already. Obviously, then the pandemic hit and all the rest of it. But during the pandemic, we managed to release 2 singles with 2 videos. So we were still working a lot, and I suppose those 2 songs are going to be followed by a new single that we're busy developing at the moment called Karma Dogma.
Karma Dogma. Okay.
And that's probably I'd say the most excited about a single I've ever been.
Ooh.
So these are
That says a lot,
these are-
especially from a band member 20 plus years in the
Yeah,
making.
yeah. I haven't been this excited or ever, I don't think. And obviously, it's not up to the band to decide whether the music is good on that sense. It's
Right.
up to people who hear it.
Absolutely.
But from a personal sense, really, really very exciting. So the album, yeah, we're looking to release the album this year. The last single, we think, or at least the second last, will be Karma Dogma. So that's coming out hopefully relatively soon with another video, which again, everything in-house. And it'll be a relatively punchy album, 10 tracks, nothing too crazy. The Money Eaters, our debut album, was really extensively long with a lot of linking tracks. We had a lot of themes going on there. And this is going to be a lot more concise. 10 tracks of just start to finish, what we hope is a well-crafted album of songs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. Now, with the first 2 singles that you released in 2020,
Yes.
Caress and Tonight Is Your Night, there's a deeper meaning behind it. I found if I read and listen to the lyrics, delve into that a little bit and tell us where the passion, the creative drive came from for those 2 tracks so far, and does that actually lead into the rest of the album being that emotional, that sincere?
Great questions. I think that I think that this is definitely the most personal album we've released, or we will release to date. The songs in Marlow and on the Money Eaters are very much interested in a lot of introspective, almost rhetorical questions about the universe, about the nature of reality, about I suppose just our part in that universe, but more in a general sense. The tracks like, I suppose, The Illusion of Looping and things like that. That was in obviously the Marlow days, but all the way through to the HOKUM stuff. Now it seems to have transitioned more into personal stuff. And Tonight Is Your Night is the most personal track, I think, that we've released as a single for me personally. And so the songs seem to be reflecting more personal things that have happened. And as you say, where does that passion come from? They come from strife. to be 100%
Okay.
honest. So pretty much this album's going to be very emotional in that sense. It's all more personal accounts, but try to put into a general sense, not only from, I had a problem and this is my problem. It's more about the things that we experience as people, because I know I'm not the only one that experienced these
Right,
things.
yeah.
And so to try and paint a picture on a canvas that can express that personal either pain or elation. There's going to be a lot of joy on the album as well, in unexpected places. A lot of anger and defiance, not only at personal situations, but a lot of systems and a lot of institutions and things that I've wanted to say for a very long time. Lyrically, I think I'm pretty much the only one that writes in the band, lyrically.
Okay.
Not that I'm only the only one that comes up with ideas or themes, but lyrically I think I'm pretty much the one that comes up with the concepts.
Right.
And as a result, that's broadened the depth of the music for me, and I hope for other people, because it seems that I'm taking those things and throwing them out there, and in particular the caress isn't so much about a personal experience as it was, but more about a general experience that human beings have with perception.
Absolutely.
And all perception is corruptible, and when you take that into account and you have an experience that lends you in a certain way, and sex seemed to be a part of the journey, and equations, in other words, just how the universe is made and our role in it, and then human. We're all human, and that's the probably the one thing that defines us the most, of course.
Absolutely.
Being
Yeah.
human. And all of those three words, human, sex, equation, seem to encompass everything on the album that's there and that I was going through lyrically. So that's where the inspiration is not, it's not coming, it's not trying, it just is. And we're using that to our advantage as much as possible.
That's fantastic, man. And
Yeah.
I can relate to that in the sense of so many bands that I speak to, be it on the couch or on any of my shows on BurgStudio, then there's always this thing where people relate, personally the band members relate to their own music, but it's also open to the listener's perception on how they perceive that and connect with your music and the lyrics especially, and how
Absolutely.
and how the emotions behind the lyrics and the music, because we all know that it's not just about the lyrics. I mean, Oh God, for instance, they've got such a powerful emotion to their music, and they're an instrumental band.
That's
You know, so kudos to you guys, man. It's fantastic. I think it's a power trio that we've got in front of me today on the couch,
Thank you.
and
Thank you.
so well done thus far. Very excited for the new things to come.
Thank you.
What do you guys do for fun?
Oh man, I'm someone who's really interested in a lot of things.
You need to wait for the B-roll and the. Do you guys? What's that Patreon? Do you guys have Patreon or OnlyFans that people can pay to see what you're talking about outside?
Yeah, soon at Patreon is no. We don't have Patreon or anything like that. But no, I'm interested in the acquiring of knowledge is one aspect, but I'm passionate about chess.
Okay.
And I love literature and reading, classics to horror to modern to anything I can get my hands on, a voracious reader. I love astronomy and cosmology. I love just science in general, horticulture, but kind of
Chocolate
I suppose
mousse
biology.
and
Yes, baking. I love baking. I love cooking. So I'm very much, I suppose, always a student.
okay.
Always think of myself as a student, and I do go deep into things. So I don't like to just skim over the contents. I like to go deep in.
Who's the captain on our quiz team?
Yes. When we have quiz nights, which is never.
Never.
I am the captain. I would be the captain if we were to have quiz teams. But yeah. So I'm interested in a lot of things. So I suppose just a quick rattle fire. Hobbies are chess, writing, short stories, and novels and whatnot. And then also just, I suppose, horticulture lately, the biology and science of plants.
Ooh, biology and science of plants. Conrad's going to tell us a little bit more about his interests.
Wow, interests. Finding melodies is one of my biggest interests.
Not Nemo.
Who knows? Just one.
Just one, yeah.
Exactly, no need.
Yeah, I've become very passionate about the band again,
It's true.
music, and just getting up and writing and writing. And it's like practice. You got to practice, and then it gets easier. So I love that. I lost a lot of passion in other things. I used to enjoy golf and all sorts of things, but at the moment, no real passion except music, really, and fathering. I'm a father, so
Oh,
that's a
nice.
big passion.
He's not bad at it.
Absolutely.
I think he's very good, actually.
Yeah, you see.
Yeah.
That guy knows.
Yeah.
So,
We're fathers.
Oh.
Two of us, except for this guy.
Not a pair.
They try
oh, you see, I thought it was a pair.
Not a pair, no. No, but yes, so of course, I mean, passionate about my kids. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Joshua and Ella, hopefully.
Hey,
Get a
kids.
kick out of a mention. But yeah, I know, exactly.
Yeah.
100%. And you? And you?
Yeah, I think it occupies most of my time at the moment playing. Yeah, I think I'm making the most of kind of the chance that I have, to play and come up with new ideas. I also enjoy like the routine stuff, just running through exercises. It's quite a soothing exercise, I think. Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
Oh, in form.
Form.
In series.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. I can't believe I forgot about
I
that.
know. I was going to put
Film, yeah, just
How?
Yeah.
film, passionate about film, and we were just quickly, talking about oh God, or music with no vocals, and it's almost and listening to music without that context, and just having that very much reminds me just an instrumental sense of directors like Tarkovsky or Kubrick, who were very much not interested so much in dialogue as the context to a story, but try as much as possible to get the story through in just visual terms. And if you can do that, if you can get people into the music before they even know the context, you're winning.
Yeah.
In other words, of creating your vision
Absolutely.
to be interpreted correctly. Well, it is what it is. And thank you for saying so.
Absolutely. Now, guys, before we start wrapping it up, I want to give you the opportunity to, if you've got any sponsors, plugs, those kind of things, shout outs. I mean, you mentioned your kids. Feel free to mention yours. Put this in, okay? For the kids' sake.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to fan hard.
I'm a teacher, I suppose by trade. So I teach music to kids.
Okay.
I work at a school, so a big shout out to them, to all my students, and every single one of them a big shout out if they ever do get to see this. A lot of them are young, I don't think they will, but one or two of them will. And obviously to Plug Music Agency and to Mongrel Records.
Thanks,
Shout out
Warren.
to Warren, yeah. Big shout out, and big shout out to you, my man. Really,
Thank
really.
you very much.
Once the
Yeah.
Planet, really do appreciate having people like you coming up more and more in our field of vision and just giving us great content and giving us a platform to share our music, So, big shout out to you.
Most welcome.
Thank you. Is there any shout outs for you guys?
I'll shout out to my kids, Lyra and Nova. And then Dylan, our producer, he's like a fourth member of our band.
Definitely.
Got a shout out to him. And to Rory.
So,
I think a shout out. I'd just like to say hi to my niece and nephew, Matthew and Ella. They rock, and they're just doing amazingly well in their respective fields, their passions, which I'd love to see. And my family, just being supportive, I think they've always liked the idea that we've been into music, which has been cool. It hasn't been a fight, which has been a dream. I'm very lucky.
that's very fortunate indeed. Yeah.
And that's it.
Fantastic. Where can we find HOKUM online? Do you guys still do hard copy CDs and those kind of things? Where do we find you?
We want to do some hard copy stuff. We actually want to make it more public and fan-centered, meaning that pretty much bands these days, if they do have hard copies, ask who would like a hard copy.
Like an LP
And
of the
a vinyl, especially a limited edition, etc. And then we're going to float that, and requests, etc. And people that would be interested in that, we will gladly produce a hard copy of it. but they will be limited, most certainly.
Absolutely,
As stuff is,
very, very almost exclusive.
correct.
You know,
We've got about 50 albums of the Money Eaters. The Money Eaters.
on
And
CD.
And that's it. We won't do more of those.
Won't do
And then
more
we'll
of those,
maybe do 100 to 200 of Human Sex Equation.
Okay.
And
That'll be that, and the rest of it, we have an Instagram account which is HOKUM Band, HOKUM SA,
Mhm.
and then obviously Facebook, same thing, HOKUM Band, HOKUM SA, and
then it'll just be released by Mongrel.
that's it. And obviously YouTube, you can find us there for HOKUM Band as well, and then Mongrel will be taking care of a lot of the stuff, Spotify, Apple, iTunes,
Bandcamp.
all of Bandcamp. I mean, Deezer, I think every single online platform the music is going
So-
to be, and you can find us there.
Did you guys do that all yourselves, or did you go through someone like CD Baby, or what's the other one?
The Money Eaters we did ourselves.
Yeah.
So
To put on all the platforms.
on the platforms,
Pretty much,
and got the printing done and designed the album covers, and everything was. It took us 7 years to do it, but completely
Right, yeah.
in-house.
Everything in it.
Okay,
Coding,
okay.
everything. Yeah.
Now, just on the vinyl side of things, right? I know vinyl is quite expensive to get the master vinyl done and then pressing it, etc., etc. So much so that a lot of the younger bands can't afford to do the pressings. Is there any advice for you or from you guys to the bands out there, to the viewers, you guys out there, that you can say, well, maybe approach this people or these people and or do it this way?
I think it's, I mean, again, a good question. Yeah, advice is a tricky thing, but we would definitely. Oh, I would say that the most important thing when you're getting your music out there, if we're not just talking about the music itself, but actually getting it out there, is to realize obviously everything is digital. So people that want to do vinyls, that's a stepping stone. That's a little down the line. So I would keep expectations realistic for what you can deliver, the production quality that you can deliver, and make the absolute most of that. It doesn't matter if you have a camera that you think is bad. If you have a good idea, not at all. If you have a good idea, if you believe in that idea enough. I mean, there's an Australian band that we've recently discovered. They're the most authentic group of people that I think we've seen in a very long time. And the videos are not spectacular budgets at all. You can see they've pulled everything they have, not everything they have, but they've pulled resources with friends, with mates,
Right.
and they've made the video. And the videos work.
Okay.
They are
Who are they?
killer.
Who are they?
Amyl and the Sniffers.
Okay.
Amyl spelled
Amyl and the Sniffers.
AMYL and the Sniffers. They're an Australian band. They just, the lead singer is, I'm not too sure of her name, but she is, I'd say, 1,000% sunshine and energy, but so much more than that, deeper, lyrically, poetically, so authentic. They're like a punk band that's not like, probably the truest form of what I believe punk to be that I've seen in a very long time.
Be sure to check it out. You know what? I'll even
Amyl
put a
and
link in the description below.
Amyl and the Sniffers,
Oh, yeah.
just, yeah, I mean, if, I just think they're absolutely...
but it's so good.
It's not even, again, it's not about genre.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about what type of music they are. I just love their authenticity, their energy. They're just like, you know.
Amyl and the Sniffers.
Yeah,
Great
I
stuff.
love
I'll
that
check them
stuff,
out.
so yeah.
Guys, thank you so very much for your time today. I appreciate
Thank
making
you
the
for
trek
yours,
out
man.
to my home studio. And I look forward to having you on from the live room, which is something we're starting soon.
Exciting stuff.
And
That's great.
that'll be live on BurgStudio.co.za on one Thursday a month. Keep your eyes and ears open for that. But guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Such a
And,
pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, let's go have some fun now.
You too, man.
Yes.
Thank
Let
you.
the weekend begin. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, it's been HOKUM on the couch with Franz. I'm out of here. Have a good one. Take it easy. Keep it heavy. And remember, let metal shake you. Good night.
Don't stare too long. You'll find me incomplete.
Sonage. I think
Sonage,
sounds
Sonage.
good.
I say Sonage.